Hey YouTube, wanted to make another watch video about a new watch I just picked up, and this is the San Martin Marine Master 300. So, quick little tidbit, the Seiko Marine Master 300 is my grail watch, so it is something I really wanted to get. Now they are kind of costly and just haven't been in a position to afford one right now. And I've always been kind of a little nervous because I've never actually seen one or handled one in person about its size, because it is a chunky watch, so I was kind of a little worried about spending that much money and maybe it being too big. My very first like high-end watch I bought was the Omega Planet Ocean 45 millimeter. And it was way too big and I regretted it a lot after, I mean, you like it for the first week or two because it's new and you're excited, but then after a while you kind of go, oh man, what did I do? This watch is way too big. So I ended up selling it. Luckily I kind of broke even on it, so it wasn't a big deal, but then I kind of learned my lesson about kind of being a little more due diligent on my watch purchases. So that's kind of how I've been with the Marine Master. Just got a little nervous about pulling the trigger on it. But then I came across this one, and I am not a big microband watch guy. It's just not something I'm into, to be honest. Nothing wrong with them. They make some nice watches, but I don't know. I don't know. Never really clicked with the microbrand movement right now. I know they're very popular. I typically, try to stick with, if I'm on a budget, my two favorite brands are Seiko and Orient. Between Seiko and Orient, you can pretty much find whatever you want in quite a kind of a wide price range. And then on the quartz side, Citizen and Seiko, Citizen and Casio. So those are kind of the brands I kind of play with. And then if I want to go high end, then you got Omega and Tudor and Grand Seiko. There's obviously options there as well, but. So this one was kind of an impulse buy. I really wanted the Marine Master. I figured this would be a good way to kind of test it out without committing to the full one. And this actually, inside it's a Seiko movement, as a lot of micro brands are. There's Seiko inside. This is an NH35, I believe. Yeah, NH35A date function. So kind of have a Seiko inside. But this thing is, I'm like so impressed with it. It is. I really wish I could have a real Marine Master to hold up against it, because this thing is just, this is like a tank of a watch. It does not feel like a cheapo watch at all. So it does actually, it's got the mono block design as a real Marine Master would. So this is all one piece, so everything kind of goes from the inside. It's got a dome sapphire crystal. I believe, is this ceramic? I think. Honestly, I'm not sure if it's a ceramic bezel. Let me just take a quick look here if I see it here on their website. I don't know if it's ceramic bezel. Maybe someone will know. It honestly, it feels like it's ceramic, but either way, real nice bezel. Lots of lume. It's got a lot of superluminova lume across the whole bezel inside. This thing. It's daytime right now, so I don't know how well I can show the lume. Let me just see how well we can do this in a daytime, but this thing just glows like crazy. So the movement, it's a Seiko NH35, so it's kind of their cheaper-esque movement, so it doesn't support a lot of the basic features that I feel like every watch at this day should support. So it does have hacking, so kudos to that, but no, it does have hand winding. Last time I tried yesterday it didn't have it, so I take that back. So it does have hand winding. I don't know why yesterday when I tried to wind it, maybe I just didn't have it in the right position. Like I said, I just got this watch last night, so didn't have a whole lot of time to play with it. So it does have hand winding. I thought for some reason it didn't. So you get all the basics for at this price range, and it just, God, I wish I could show this outside. Maybe I'll try to get some footage of it outside, but it's got like a sunburst. Let me see if we can do something with my light here. If I can kind of show off the dial. Here we go. All right, I had to turn the color temperature on my lamp here to try to make it a little white, but you can kind of see the dial on this thing looks so awesome. So this is actually more of a clone on the, which is actually my official. So not only do I want the Marine Master, I want the SLA 019, which is the green limited edition Marine Master. So you can kind of see this dial is just awesome looking. It has a nice kind of deep green starburst effect to it. So you know, nice polishing here. I mean, this is like a beefy. I mean, I mean, if you want to watch with a lot of wrist presence, I mean, this is it. I mean, this watch will get attention. Now, when people are asking, tell me it's a San Martin, you might get some weird looks like, what? Say who? But nevertheless, this will garner some attention, especially on a nice sunny day, because this thing's going to catch the light in all sorts of ways. The only thing is the bezel action is a little cheap. I mean, like if there's one giveaway that this is a cheap watch, it is the bezel action. I mean, it's just very hard and very kind of cheap hollow sounding. It's like they got a cheap spring in there or something. It just, I mean, that's the giveaway. This is a cheap watch, is the bezel action. It's very kind of not smooth, loud, and kind of has an echoey sound to it. When you compare it to, like, if we take something that costs significantly more, I mean, this thing is just like butter. I mean, it takes no effort. Has a very kind of the sound and the vibration, the echo of it just sounds very kind of solid. Where this one is just, I mean, it just sounds like metal grinding. I mean, it just has a very awful sound and a very kind of, takes a lot of effort to turn this. So that would be the only kind of knock against this watch, is the bezel action. So that's the only giveaway here. But alignment on it is pretty good, so they could teach Seiko a thing or two. Look at that, pretty good alignment. So yeah, not a whole lot more I can say about this watch. Dimension wise, they have this at 44 millimeters. Let's take a look at the quick weight, because this is a heavy watch. Let's see what we got here. So weight wise, we're looking at, wow, 202 grams. So that's a heavy watch. So here I'm wearing a Garmin Instinct Solar right now. What do we got for this one? 57 grams. And then one of my favorites here, let's take a look at the Tudor Pelagos. 143 grams. So yeah, it's definitely a chunky watch. So I got about a 7-inch wrist, maybe a little bit smaller. So just to kind of give you how it fits. So it fits. I mean, you know, everyone always says it fits really, really well, and it does. I mean, you know, it's for a 44 millimeter watch. It doesn't feel like a 44. I mean, the weight. I mean, you feel the weight. That's for sure. I mean, it's top heavy. I mean, you feel it there. But I'm just like take the weight away, just how it contours and feels in the arm. I mean, I typically like to stay at about 42 millimeters for my watch preference. Between 40 and 42 is kind of my kind of play zone. So this being a 44, and the reason I was kind of, you know, a little nervous. But this, yeah, I mean, this is probably like the smallest 44 ever, and it's got a nice sapphire crystal. It's got some blue AR on it, so it does reflect the light pretty nicely, and it's kind of very vivid. So this is like, I mean, this is a great watch. I'm really happy with it. This would probably be the only like micro brand watch I'd probably recommend to people, because normally I always say like, you get it, whatever one you're looking at, I could find you one from Seiko or Orient that I would just prefer to have. I guess I like the more of a purist. I guess my issue with some of the micro brands is that it's really just a dressed up Seiko or a dressed up Citizen. I mean, they are majority. I mean, some are going more high end now, using some Swiss movements, but for a long time they pretty much used Seiko or the Miyota movement. So I don't know. I just prefer to stick with kind of the more purist approach, and that's why I kind of gravitate towards Seikos and Orients. Those are my two favorite brands, really. But you know, I do like Tudor as well. I mean, and Omega. Omega not so much. Speedmaster's really the only Omega I like is the Speedmaster. Otherwise, I'm not a big Omega guy. Tudor I like a lot of Tudors. I would love to get a Black Bay. And of course, probably my favorite brand is Grand Seiko. Or, I mean, Seiko, of course, but also Grand Seiko. I don't have anything from Grand Seiko yet, but it is something on my dream list. So, I don't know what else I can tell you about this one, other than it's a super cool watch if you're into Seiko, and if you really want a Marine Master but can't afford one. I mean, this thing is very, very impressive. Especially the lume, it looks so cool at nighttime. Alright, so if you have any questions, let me know. This is kind of a spur of a moment video, so I apologize if I didn't cover anything here. I'm trying to think quickly what else I can tell. The bracelet does feel a little, I mean, first of all, Seiko bracelets are already kind of so I guess, I mean, comparing to Seiko, the bracelet's fine, but it's definitely, Seiko bracelets aren't really ones that are usually very impressive anyway. The one thing I don't like is it is a push pin, so it's kind of a pain in the ass to get them out. Only nice thing about these push pins is that they're unidirectional, so there's like a sleeve that's inside the link that kind of acts as the compression, so which means you can push the link in either direction, and the compression kind of gets stuck in the middle, in the center link. So yeah, that's one good thing, because sometimes it's always difficult to figure out, especially when it's like a used watch and the previous owner didn't do it the right way, is to figure out which way you're supposed to be pushing. Clasp is pretty nice. I mean, it's pretty substantial feel to it. You have a ton of micro adjustments, so you can really dial this thing in. That's important because these are big links. So if you look at these links, these are pretty big links. So trying to get this thing to fit right would be a shot in the dark if you didn't have all these micro adjustments. So this, I mean, is necessary for this one because I have these chunky or very long links, and there's no half links either. So yeah, but the clasp is good. It has a nice strong feel to it, locking mechanism. I don't quite like this little, like, I guess we're trying to go for the same look. I mean, I would have preferred just the kind of a normal looking clasp. But drilled lugs, so strap changes are going to be pretty easy. Yeah. So, and I think these are almost becoming, I hate to say it or make that speculation, almost like, I want to say collectible, but you can't buy these anymore. I don't know if San Martin stopped making them, but I've been looking for one of these for quite some time, and they're sold out everywhere. So I found this used on Watch Forum. So, but yeah, I was kind of surprised how difficult it was to find one. I actually bought one of these maybe like 6-7 months ago off of Wish, but it never arrived. So I ended up having to file a complaint and got my money back. But I bought one off of Wish. I hope it was. After I bought it, I started thinking, I'm like, well, would someone make a fake of almost a fake? I mean, it's a San Martin, it's like the real thing. So maybe it's a good thing that it didn't ever arrive, because then I kind of maybe wonder if it was even a real San Martin. It would be kind of weird if someone's making fake San Martins, but you never know. So, but yeah, I just got this one. Arrived yesterday, opened it last night just to kind of quickly play with it. So I haven't even had a chance to wear it yet. So maybe this weekend I'll get a chance to wear it, or Thanksgiving. We'll see what the family reaction is when I bust this sucker out, just to see. I'm sure it's going to draw some attention, and so we'll see how most of my family are not watch people. So when I tell them San Martin, they probably won't know what the hell that is anyway. All right, well, sorry for babbling. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions.